Well, from Harvard Eye, right now, we have Dr. John Hovhannissian. Always good to see you.
Great to see you too,
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Nice to hear you had a great Thanksgiving. We did too.
Good.
Great part of the year. Now we diet until Christmas and the summer holidays, and then we diet again in January, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess because for us, although we went to see our mother and father-in-law, my mother and father, they did the cooking. We brought home a little bit of turkey. But when you cook for yourself, you cook the Thanksgiving dinner, you got a lot of leftovers.
Yeah, but you made the desserts, so did you bring desserts home?
Yeah, we had a little bit.
We did the same.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
But that's okay. That's all right.
That's right.
But
take it to the office.
That you had a good one. So we're talking about basically not so much about an eye condition, but the after surgery and how you take care of whatever you might have done to your eyes, right?
Yeah, it's interesting when you think about what's happening. We have a lot in medicine. We have a lot of new medications that come along that are wonderful because they give us new ways of treating old conditions.
Yeah.
But we're also coming up with new ways of delivering old medications. And when you think about the eye, it's a unique area, sort of like the skin, that we put the medicine directly on the target organ. In the eye, we take eye drops, and we've done it for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, putting a drop on the eye is putting a lot of medicine right on the target, because if you had to take a pill to get to the eye in a dose like an eye drop, the pill would have to be this big. Right?
That's true.
Because you just need a high concentration locally in the eye. So
and
eye
no
drops
one
are strong.
has come up after all these decades of any better technology to put eye drops in.
Well, now we have, and that is what's exciting. So, when you think about it, an eye drop is a really inconvenient thing. And we've done studies that have shown that 92% of people who are taking eye drops somehow mess it up.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. We put it on the cheek or on the forehead, whichever gets to the eye, or we contaminate the bottle, which you want to try to keep sterile by touching it to things that contaminates it, or we put in 2 drops. That's like taking one pill and throwing one pill away, right? How wasteful is that?
Yeah.
Or we do something to mess it up. And so really, if we can relieve ourselves of the burden of taking eye drops or even reduce it, we've made big progress. And now we've got some nice ways of doing that for our most common condition, where people have to take eye drops who are the least used to it, and that's cataract surgery.
Okay. And this is something obviously post-surgery.
Yeah.
And this is, now this is, you've talked about tear ducts in general. And over the years, people can have a minor condition, a first minor, of the tear ducts getting blocked or whatever it might be, and then, become irritated and can cause other more problems down the road if they're not taken care of.
That's right, and in fact, for people who have dry eyes, a very common condition, we sometimes deliberately block the tear duct with something called a punctal plug. It's a little plug that goes in the lower tear duct. It's in the inner corner of the lower eyelid, and there's a channel there where we can direct this long, skinny material inside. And then what happens in the form of this eye drop, this material, which is in the first picture, is that it starts out as a long, skinny thing that easily slips into this channel, and then it becomes short and fat. And so it fills the space, and it stays there for a month inside the tear duct, and it looks like the middle picture you see on the screen. And you can actually see it in the third picture on the right. You'll see a yellow glow. And so what happens is there's a yellow material in there. And if you shine a blue light on it, brightly, or even just a bright ordinary daylight, and you pull the eyelid outward, you can actually see this glow. And so you can confirm that the medicine is still there inside the eyelid. So a typical way we would use this is somebody who goes through surgery, cataract surgery, during the procedure while the eye is numb and they're not aware. We put in this medicine in the lower tear duct, and it will remain there for a month. And the person doesn't have to take eye drops after surgery, and they don't have to think about, the anti-inflammatory medicine that they're receiving.
So this system is, for lack of a better term, is slow releasing.
That's exactly what it is.
It's basically dissolving.
Yeah, and it's actually one of two. The other way we do it, and we have a picture for that as well, goes inside the eyeball, and it's also done during surgery. So during surgery, we are already inside the eye to do what we're doing. And so at the end of the procedure, we put in a tiny little white pearl of medicine. And here, you almost would miss it if you look at the picture, but at the bottom of the picture where the brown iris, at the edge of the brown iris, you see a little tiny white pearl there. And that disappears over a period of a couple weeks. And it's so small that most of the time it's invisible. People don't see it at all. But it works to help treat inflammation in the eye after surgery. So again, two different ways we have of replacing or reducing at least eye drops after surgery. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is. Now, I know that you've talked to me about, and I think if I have this right, glaucoma, you have drops.
Yeah.
In other words, if you catch it in time and the more minor the start of it. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
And could this application be used there?
Absolutely. You're thinking exactly the way we do. If it works for surgical patients, it works for glaucoma, which is the other common condition where people take drops typically for the rest of their life. And so we have several different ways we're working on, including the ones you see here, to deliver long-term eye drops or long-term, let's say, medication to the eye without having to put a drop in the eye. And it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Now, you were telling me before we got on that this is something that has been around in some form, and you know, taking, as far as the medication here, taking something and using it in new ways.
Yeah, that's right. You know, so the medicine that you're receiving with both of these examples is dexamethasone. It is a corticosteroid, like cortisone, like hydrocortisone that you put on your skin for poison ivy rash or allergy. It works to quiet inflammation. It's a well-proven drug. And what we know is that when you release these drugs in a very slow, steady way, you have very effective treatment and you have minimal side effects from those medicines, which in the eye we think about, but we don't usually see side effects. And we especially don't see them when you deliver them in a slow way.
Now, although you know you work in this field, is this type of system used for other things? Other people who may have arthritis or recovering from knee surgery or anything like that?
Yeah, new ways of delivering drugs is absolutely a huge area of interest. And you know, so you mentioned a couple of good examples. So you know, joint issues where you have a local need for medicine. You don't need to treat the whole body to treat your knee joint. But you know, for years we've had injections into joints, but we're developing new ways to get those injections to be less frequent. So whether it's injected or placed on the surface of the skin, we're working on ways to do that. Another area is cancers. You know, why treat the whole body with chemotherapy when you've got a cancer that's localized to a known area? And so we're working on ways to locally deliver medication directly to those tumors, or to have it where it's attracted to the tumor. So you have like an antibody reaction where you may treat the whole body with the medicine, but it all ends up right around the tumor and not in other places, so that you're concentrating your treatment right where it's needed most. And that works particularly well when you don't know where all the tumor is, right? If you've got a little you know, growth of it someplace else in the body, a metastasis, you can treat without having to give high doses of medication. So very exciting what's happening in medicine.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you know, different parts of medicine in many ways benefit other parts of medicine once they figure out, you know, well, if this can treat this way, it can evolve to treat this other, your eyes in this way or whatever it might be.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And one of the nice things about these treatments is they're covered by Medicare. So, you know, we always think about, okay, what does it cost? We can't incur a lot of additional cost for our patient. Okay, we get that the science is good, but, you know, what does it cost? And here, there's no cost to the patient, and we love that as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Always interesting things going on in the world of eye care. And,
lots of new exciting things. And, you know, we were involved in the FDA studies for both of these, and so we're very familiar with how they work. And it's been just exciting to see better treatments come along that we get to share with our patients. So
yeah. Always good.
Yeah.
You bring us good news.
And it's always the right time of year for good news.
Well, thank you very much. Always good to see you. I won't see you before, I don't think. So
I think you're right. That's the end of the year for us.
Have a great Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you in January.
Wonderful Christmas and holidays to you too, and everybody else.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll be back.